Okay, good evening to you. Now, this is the first time that we meet here through the LMS system to start a lesson. But you have participated for the online classes with Vijay Miss, and she told me that she has done two biology lessons for you. So today I thought to start the chemistry lesson, which is the first lesson of the second term, at quantification of elements and compounds. Quantification is something that you assign a quantity. So in this lesson, we are going to discuss two quantities related with matter. They are the mass and amount. So the mass and amount are two different concepts. That mass concept we have discussed even in our physics chapters. In the Newton's second law, even we discussed the mass connection, but we haven't discussed about the amount concept. But in our day-to-day life, we use the mass and amount words alternatively to give the meaning what we have meant. But in the scientific works, there's a difference between the mass and the amount concepts. So in the lesson, we are going to study how we can measure the mass of the atoms and molecules. And then there's another part of the lesson where we discuss about the amount. So before we come to the amount part, we have to finish the mass concept completely related with the elements and the compounds. Then only we can come to the second part of the lesson. So without having the proper knowledge on the first part, we can't understand the amount concept. That amount concept is associated with the Avogadro constant. So that before we come to that part of the lesson, you should have a good understanding about the first part. Right, then to understand about this first part, I have prepared a video clip. But before we come to the video clip, I should tell some information about this concept. Then you know that mass is not a new thing for us. We have been using, we know that mass is measured by the grams and milligrams and even by the kilogram units. But when you consider these units, the SI unit system for the atoms and molecules, they give extremely small values. For example, the mass of a hydrogen atom is 1.674 into 10 to the power minus 24 grams. So when it is converted into kilograms, that becomes 10 to the power minus 27 kilograms. So working with these small figures is extremely hard, and it makes mistakes during the calculations. So that in the first part of the lesson, we are going to study another method, an alternative method to find the mass of the atoms and molecules, which we call the relative atomic mass. So you know relative mean we calculate the mass of the atoms and molecules with reference to another atom, and then only we find a feasible value, a certain easy value for the further calculations. Right. So this is what we learn in the first part of the lesson, how to calculate the relative masses of the atoms and molecules, rather by measuring their the real mass by using the grams and kilogram system. So when you use the kilogram and the system, they give the exact value, but working with the exact value is too difficult for the chemical calculations. That's why scientists thought to change the mass calculation to a relative value, but to whom we calculate the relative was the problem to eradicate. They have suggested several. Now we use 612 carbon atom or the carbon 12 atoms, and that is how we calculate the relative atomic mass and the relative molecular masses. Okay, now we'll move to the video clip where we discuss how the relative masses are calculated, and then after we'll have a small summary and a discussion to understand the concepts.
A number of experiments were performed, and it was shown that the mass of one proton is 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. Hydrogen atom, it has only one proton, it has no neutrons, and it has 1 electron. But the mass of a hydrogen atom is 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg, which is the mass of a proton. We know that the mass of electron is quite negligible as compared to the mass of proton. That is why we do not consider the mass of electrons. And this is the reason why the mass of a hydrogen atom is equal to the mass of proton, which is 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. Now, this is a very complicated number. So, to avoid using these numbers, scientists prefer to use simpler numbers. So, in chemistry, we use atomic mass unit to measure the weights or the masses of these light particles. This atomic mass unit is abbreviated as AMU. So, the mass of one proton is taken to be 1 AMU. That is why the mass of hydrogen atom, which contains 1 proton, is 1 AMU. We neglect the mass of electrons because it is quite negligible as compared to the protons. So this is the lightest element. It contains only 1 proton and its mass is 1 atomic mass unit. Now, how do we calculate the mass of other elements? Other elements have different numbers of protons and neutrons. It's not very easy to calculate the masses of all the elements, but it is easy to compare the masses of the different elements with one particular element. That is why whenever we have to calculate the mass, the relative atomic mass is calculated. The relative means it is in reference to the mass of some other element. This relative atomic mass is also known as atomic weight. John Dalton was the first scientist to propose that the masses of the other elements can be compared to the lightest element, which is hydrogen. Its mass is taken to be 1 atomic mass unit. So the masses of all the other elements can be found out by comparing it to the mass of the lightest element, which is hydrogen. So when hydrogen combines with oxygen, it forms water. The mass of water or one molecule of water is 18 atomic mass unit. We know that the mass of hydrogen is 1 atomic mass unit. There are 2 hydrogens, so we get 2 into 1 atomic mass unit. Now this 2 into 1, we do not know the atomic mass of oxygen. Let's take it to be X. And we know the atomic mass of the water, or one molecule of water, which is 18. So we get the atomic mass of oxygen is 18 minus 2 or 16 atomic mass unit. So the atomic masses or relative atomic masses. Now this is the relative atomic mass. The relative atomic mass is also abbreviated as RAM. The relative atomic mass of oxygen is 16 atomic mass unit. So the masses, the relative atomic masses of the other elements are found out by comparing it with the lightest element, in this case hydrogen. So how do we do that? When hydrogen combines with different elements, we get the atomic masses of that species. So that is how we get the relative atomic mass of the particular species. But it was found out that hydrogen does not react with most of the elements. That is why we shifted to another element. Let's see what is the atomic mass of carbon. We have 1 hydrogen atom. Let's add a carbon atom. So a carbon atom is heavier as compared to hydrogen. Let's add more hydrogen atoms. We have now 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So the mass of 12 hydrogen atoms is equal to mass of 1 carbon atom. This is why the mass of 1 atom of carbon 12 is 12 atomic mass unit. It is 12 times heavier than 1 hydrogen atom, and this carbon 12 is taken as the reference to calculate the relative atomic mass of the other elements. This is because carbon easily reacts with most of the elements. And to find the atomic masses of all the other elements becomes easier when we take carbon-12 as the reference. And the mass of one carbon-12 atom is 12 atomic mass units. So based on this, that is taking carbon-12 as the reference, we get the relative atomic mass of all the elements, that is calculated by taking the mass of one atom of the element and dividing it by mass of one carbon-12 atom. So the relative atomic masses of all the elements can be calculated by taking carbon-12 as the reference, and that is calculated by taking the mass of one atom of a particular element and dividing it by the mass of one atom of carbon-12. So based on this, the relative atomic masses of different elements were calculated. So for hydrogen, the relative atomic mass comes out to be 1/12. For carbon, it becomes 1, since we are comparing it with carbon itself. For nitrogen, it becomes 14/12, and so on. So we observe that these numbers, that is these denominators, make the relative atomic masses a little complicated. So what do? We take 1/12 the mass of one carbon-12 atom. The mass of one carbon-12 atom is 12 atomic mass units. If we take 1/12 of the mass of one carbon-12 atom, we get 1 atomic mass unit. So this makes it easier to calculate the relative atomic masses of the different elements, and we do that now by taking the mass of one atom of the element, dividing it by 1/12 the mass of one carbon-12 atom. So when we use this formula and we calculate the relative atomic masses, we see that all the denominators, that is all the denominators which were 12 are now removed, since we removed the number by using 1/12 the mass of one carbon-12 atom. So we get the mass of sodium equal to 23, the relative atomic mass of aluminium coming out to be 27, and so on. So these are the relative atomic masses of the different elements. So we have seen that the relative atomic masses, which can be abbreviated as RAM, and which are also known as the atomic weights, this is the number of times one atom of the element is heavier than 1/12 the mass of one carbon-12 atom. So if we have the relative atomic mass of sodium, which is equal to 23, this means that one atom of sodium is 23 times heavier as compared to 1/12 the mass of one carbon-12 atom. Let's look at the chlorine isotopes in nature. There are two chlorine isotopes in nature, 35Cl17. So we know how do we read this. The superscript is the mass number. So we have the mass number of this isotope as 35. The other isotope of chlorine is 37Cl17. So the superscript gives us the mass number. So the mass number of this chlorine isotope is 37. So now, what should be the relative atomic mass of chlorine? Should it be 35 or 37? We know that one element cannot have two relative atomic masses, right? So it should have only one relative atomic mass. Now, to calculate that, we need the relative abundance of the two isotopes. The relative abundances of the two isotopes are in this ratio. This means the first isotope is 3 times as abundant as the second isotope, which is 37Cl17. Now to calculate the relative atomic mass of chlorine, we take the mass number of the first isotope multiplied by its relative abundance. We add it to the mass number of the second isotope multiplied by its abundance, and we divide the whole by the total abundance. So when we do this, we get the relative atomic mass of chlorine. So the relative atomic mass of fluorine is not 35 or 37, but taking into account all the isotopes, we get the relative atomic mass of fluorine to be 35.5 atomic mass unit. We know that the mass number of any atom is the total number of protons and neutrons which are present in an atom. So now what's the difference between the mass number of an element and its relative atomic mass? Let's see. The mass number is simply the number of protons and neutrons in a particular atom. But when we talk of the relative atomic mass, we take into account all the isotopes which are present in nature. So the mass number gives us the number of protons and neutrons for a particular atom or for a particular element. But whenever we are talking of the relative atomic mass, we always take into account all the isotopes of that element which are present in nature. So when we talk of fluorine, we see that the mass number of the first isotope is 35. The mass number of the second isotope is 37. But this is not the relative atomic mass of fluorine, and this is not the relative atomic mass of fluorine. The relative atomic mass of fluorine is calculated by taking into account the relative abundances, and this is how we get the relative atomic mass of fluorine to be equal to 35.5 atomic mass units. So whenever we are calculating the relative atomic mass of a particular element, we take into account all the isotopes of the element which are present in nature. Like the relative atomic mass for a particular element, we have the relative molecular mass for a compound or for a molecule. So the relative molecular mass can be abbreviated as RMM, and this is also known as the molecular weight. This shows the number of times one molecule of a substance is heavier than 1/12 the mass of one carbon-12 atom. So like the relative atomic mass shows the number of times one atom of an element is heavier than 1/12 the mass of carbon-12 atom. The relative molecular mass shows the number of times one molecule of the substance is heavier than 1/12 the mass of one carbon-12 atom. Let's look at water. We know that the relative atomic mass of hydrogen atom is 1 atomic mass unit, and the relative atomic mass of oxygen is 16 atomic mass unit. Now, if we have to calculate the relative molecular mass of water, which contains both hydrogen and oxygen, how do we calculate that? We see there are two atoms of hydrogen. And we know that the relative atomic mass of each hydrogen atom is 1. And we have 1 atom of oxygen, and the relative atomic mass of each oxygen atom is 16. So when we calculate this, we get 2 plus 16, which is 18 atomic mass unit. So the relative molecular mass of water, which contains both hydrogen and oxygen, is 18 atomic mass unit. And this shows that one molecule of water is 18 times as heavy as 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon-12. Now, what should be the relative molecular mass of ammonia? We are given the relative atomic mass of nitrogen and hydrogen. So if we have to calculate the relative molecular mass of ammonia, we add the relative atomic masses of each of the elements. So we have 1 atom of nitrogen, and the relative atomic mass of nitrogen is 14. We have 3 atoms of hydrogen, and the relative atomic mass of each hydrogen atom is 1. So when we calculate, we get 14 plus 3, which is 17 atomic mass unit. The relative molecular mass of one molecule of ammonia is 17 atomic mass unit. Similarly, if we have one other molecule, which is NH42SO4, and we have to calculate the relative molecular mass of this molecule. We simply add the relative atomic masses of each of the species. Now, in this case, we have 2 atoms of nitrogen, each having the relative atomic mass 14. We have 8 atoms of hydrogen, each having the relative atomic mass 1. 1 atom of sulfur, each having relative atomic mass 32, and 4 atoms of oxygen, each having the relative atomic mass 60. So to calculate the relative molecular mass of one molecule of NH42SO4, we now add each of these. So let's calculate. When we calculate and add this, we get 6 plus 4, 10 and 12. And we get 6 plus 3, 9, 10 and 30 atomic mass unit.
Right. Now, from this discussion, we have discussed 2 concepts in the lesson. And altogether, you know the number of equations that you should remember, 3 equations. Then just look at the textbook for the equations now. Right, then look at the textbook. So this is what we have discussed now, relative atomic mass. So before we study about the relative atomic mass, we should have the atomic mass unit or the relative atomic mass unit. This is the first equation you should remember. The method to calculate the atomic mass unit, that is the mass of a carbon atom divided by 12. So this is what we considered as the atomic mass unit. So by considering this unit, we measure the mass of the other atoms and molecules, which is called the relative atomic mass. So that relative atomic mass unit and relative atomic mass are 2 different things. This is the unit used to measure, or the AMU, and this is how we use that unit to measure the mass of the other atoms and molecules. So this is the first equation you should remember. Atomic mass unit is equal mass of a carbon isotope atom divided by 12. This reading is given in the exam paper for you to use it for the further calculation, and that value, referring to that value, we can calculate the mass of the atoms, which is called the relative atomic mass. So those are the first 2 equations. And then similarly, these are the relative atomic mass of some elements, and there are some calculations. Look at this works example. For example, if the mass of a potassium atom is given, and if you know the mass of a carbon atom, we can just substitute them like here, the denominator and the numerator, to get the relative atomic mass of potassium. And similarly, we have some other calculations. So then finally, we talk about the relative molecular mass. So this is the third equation. that we had in the lesson to calculate the relative molecular mass. Similarly, we should find the mass of a molecule, and it should be divided by the value of the relative atomic mass unit, or the value of 1 AMU. But though we have this equation, we do not use that equation to calculate the relative molecular mass. We use another method to calculate the relative molecular mass. So this is what we practice in the lesson. For example, think about the hydrogen molecule. There are 2 hydrogen atoms in one hydrogen molecule, each with a relative atomic mass of 1. So 2 by 1 is then 2. For example, think about this oxygen or carbon dioxide molecule, then 1 carbon atom, each with a mass of 12, and then 2 oxygen atoms, each with a mass of 16. These 12, 16s are given as data in the calculation. Then altogether, the relative molecular mass of carbon dioxide is 44. So as we observed in the video clip, the relative molecular mass of water is 18. And then there are questions to calculate for the exercise 1, to calculate the relative molecular mass of them. And in the video clip, even we watch the method of calculation for ammonia, that was 17. And at home, you calculate the relative molecular mass of sulfuric and sucrose molecule. And then there's another exercise for you to calculate the relative formula mass, same concept, relative formula mass. Relative molecular mass is applied for the relative molecular mass is applied for the covalent compounds, one type of chemical compounds, and then the formula mass is applied for the ionic compounds. But we use the same method now. For example, here for magnesium oxide, one magnesium oxide is 24, and each oxygen atom is 16. So that by taking their sum, we can calculate the relative formula mass, which is the same value of the relative molecular mass. So that from this part of the lesson, I try to make understand the relative atomic mass and the relative molecular mass, rather by using the grams and kilogram units to measure the mass of the atoms. And there are 3 equations. First equation, to calculate the value of the relative atomic mass unit. By using the unit, we could calculate the relative atomic mass and the relative molecular mass. And in these are the worked examples, and there are questions in the textbook for you to calculate the relative molecular mass and relative atomic mass. So next day, we will discuss the next part of the lesson, the Avogadro concept and the amount concept. I told at the beginning, we have 2 concepts to discuss. One is the mass of the atoms and molecule, and next part is the amount concept. So today, I try to teach you the mass concepts of atoms and molecules. Then next day, we will meet in another discussion to discuss about the amount concepts. Right? Till that, we will finish the lesson, and good night for you all. Thank you.